What's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a terrific day. I'm going to do a video today indoors because we have a heat advisory outside and it's just really, really, really hot. So for the sake of my camera gear and everything, we're going to be inside in the studio doing a video. And today I want to talk about why tinnitus, hyperacusis, I do not care the severity of your symptoms, how bad they are, why it is not hopeless. And it seems odd that I would have to do a video like this. This seems like common sense. But I understand where people can be when they just experience this stuff, or maybe you're having a setback, or maybe you're having to habituate again, or maybe you're having an onset of new symptoms. And I want you to understand just kind of the progression of how this stuff plays out and just really kind of help you understand why it is not hopeless. So case in point, the reason it's not hopeless is because your brain is an organ that is designed to keep you alive, essentially. If you think about it, our brain really can only allow certain sensory input into it every single day. And that sensory input is usually focused around keeping you alive, right? So you have to have your concentration when you're at work. Why? Well, because you need to provide for yourself and your family. And so you are a creature that is evolved to survive, essentially. And if there is sensory that is in the way of keeping you from being able to work, and it's stealing your concentration, and tinnitus, one of the hallmarks of bothersome tinnitus and hyperacusis is your concentration gets robbed from you, right? Ringing in your ears, it's like, oh my gosh, it's there. You're paying attention to it, and it's just zaps you of all your concentration. Especially if you have an onset of new symptoms. Like yesterday, I had pressure in my left ear, and it was weird. It wouldn't go away. I took a Sudafed, woke up, and now I seem to be fine. So just a weird thing. Probably something with allergies and the weather changing. But that was extremely, it zapped me of my concentration. I couldn't do videos the rest of the day because I was just like, oh my gosh, this pressure in my head is just like driving me crazy. So I know exactly how new symptoms can definitely be a catalyst to take your attention away. What you have to realize is that your brain does not want to stay focused on tinnitus or the symptoms of hyperacusis. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Your brain, it was up to your brain. If you just got out of the way and just let it do its thing, it would eventually filter these sounds and sensations out, no matter how horrible and debilitating they are, because your brain is evolved to keep you surviving, and you're not going to be able to survive if you're constantly focusing on all of these sensations that you're not going to get good sleep. Your work, your job performance is going to lack. And so it's going to lead ideally, not inevitably, to you not being able to maintain and continue going forward in society. So with that being said, you have to understand that the natural progression that your brain wants to take is to habituate and recover to tinnitus. Now, understanding that, we can begin to understand what we do to keep that from happening. So a lot of times what happens is that we get in the way of our own recovery. We find ourselves focusing our brain in on the sensations, in on the ringing or the hyperacusisness of it, whatever we're experiencing. We keep running to forums online. And the reason that the forums are so debilitating is because they're filled with people who simply don't take this advice. And maybe they don't know it exists, but they don't take this advice. And they're on there trying to convince other people. Maybe they're not doing this purposely, but that definitely is the case. They're trying to convince other people that it's hopeless because they believe that it's hopeless for themselves. Now, here's the key to this. They believe it is hopeless. They believe what they are experiencing is hopeless. They believe it. So when someone begins to believe something, it start becoming a religious ideology to them. And when you're talking about something that is religious to somebody, it is almost impossible to convince them otherwise. And tinnitus and hyperacusis and focusing on it becomes, I'm not going to say it is a religion, but it takes on a religiosity sort of perspective to the person that is putting it. It invokes their whole day. It's in their brain all the time. It's what they think about when they wake up. It's what they think about when they go to bed. It's all their attention goes to it. So they literally Step in the way and say, okay, brain, I know that you're evolved to keep me surviving and you want to block this out so we can get back to living and having a happy life. But I'm going to step in and I'm going to force you to go against, 100,000 years of evolution. And I'm going to force you to focus on this tinnitus and this ringing in the ears. And after a while, right, the brain wants to forget about it. But after a while, the brain just finally goes, okay, I guess this is what we're focusing on, because your brain is going to listen to you. And that is how people stay trapped when they're dealing with severe hyperacusis and tinnitus. And I've talked to these people and they'll tell me, oh, you don't understand. My symptoms are so bad. There's no excuse. There is no excuse. I don't care how bad you have it. I don't care what you're listening to. You have the same kind of brain. And if you've decided to recover and get out of the way and let your brain go through the natural steps, you will recover. If you've decided to step in the way and force yourself into this is all you're going to think about, this is what your life's going to revolve around, this is the way that things are going to be, then you won't recover. And it's really, really that simple. So when people coach with me, what I do is that we recognize the thoughts that you're having, recognizing your problem. A lot of it comes down to people's thinking, and then we correct the thinking. We teach you how to get out of the way, and to promote our brain into going to a place to where it naturally begins to fade those sounds and sensations out of your reality over time. That is the step, that is the progression, that is what I teach people, and that is why my coaching is so powerful, and it simply does not exist in this space, especially not for hyperacusis, not severe hyperacusis, okay? Because if we can do that, if we can get you out of the way, we know that the brain will take care of the rest. I know it. Because I've studied psychology, I know how this stuff works. You are your own worst enemy. You are in the way of your own healing. We have to get you out of the way. We have to teach you how to get out of the way. And it's very different for different people, and everyone has a very specific case, and it can be very challenging because everyone has their own different perspective that they're coming to life with. They all have, for myself, I have a lot of anxiety and past trauma. And so I had to work through a lot of that to get to myself to a place. But all that being said, tinnitus isn't hopeless, okay? Because your brain has an incredible feature to block this stuff out. And if we let it, it's naturally what's going to happen. The problem is so many of us, we step in the way and we keep it from happening, the healing from happening, by choosing to tell our brain to focus on these sensations that are completely benign and completely irrelevant to our survival. So if this sounds like something you want to do, hit the link below, download my free book, hit the link below, get signed up with a coaching session with me. I would love to help you if that's something you would want. Make sure to smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone if you know someone that's battling with severe hyperacusis, tinnitus, reactive tinnitus. Put a name on it. I don't care. The healing and the journey to healing is all the same. If that's like something that you want to do, make sure to smash that subscribe button. All right, I'm going to leave the video here. I'll talk to you later. Peace.